Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and today I'm joined by
Ian Bruce,
Marcus Hurley,
and
Will.
Spider-Man. We've been playing Spider-Man, or some of us have anyway. Yeah, it's good, isn't it, Ian?
I'm finding it spectacularly good. It completely exceeded my expectations. Have you played it as well, Marcus?
Funny.
Will, have you played it as well?
No, I can't bring myself. I'm currently playing the last tranche of really good games. I'll wait for this to drop in price and then I'll play that one.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's a system seller, though, for sure.
Yeah,
another one.
Yep.
Yeah, Sony have had the Spider-Man property for ages, as has been well documented on the movie side of things. But, yeah, they finally done something decent with it. Well, probably the best thing since maybe the first one or two Raimi films. And it really has got that kind of feeling to it. Like, I remember the end of, I think it was the first Raimi film where he just does that kind of victory lap around New York.
Yeah.
And he's just, and like when you're playing the game, it's basically that. You are in control of it. The controls are quite generous. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to be failing badly at swinging around the city. So, you know, you can't crash, really. If he collides into a building, he starts running up it or along it. And you get abilities later on where even if you do kind of stack it onto a building, you just press X and it kind of launches him up. I've really enjoyed that. I've kind of tooled my Spider-Man with most of the web slinging abilities. There's like trees, as you would expect from any AAA game these days.
Hang on.
And it is...
You mean skill trees, not trees in the world. It was only
skill
good.
tree.
I was going to say, the moments of rage where you're playing a game and there's just not enough foliage, and you go, "This is a AAA lie."
Number one, the large.
Oh. So that happened. Oh, God.
No, there are actual trees in the game, but you don't really have too much interaction with those, apart from, I don't know, I did something involving pigeon poop or something, but enough said about that. But yeah, the thing is, I feel like for the first time in a very long time, it's an open world game where I am kind of constantly distracted by all the side activities, because all of them are quite good.
Pigeons,
like,
I believe pigeons are involved.
Pigeons are the only one that isn't extremely good. I am finding the pigeons extremely... Oh, for goodness sake. I'm sure I will get around to them, but yeah. Sorry, Rob, I interrupted. Carry on.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's yeah, it's similar to like the Arkham games where you kind of had a certain amount of side objectives all kind of revolving around one particular character or storyline. So there's Black Cat is a character, and there's like little activities you do for her. There's a whole sort of science bit, and as you do these little science tasks, some of which are quite cool, where they'll involve like sewage or some kind of gas mains or something, and you kind of use your spider sense to sort of make out the kind of connect, like the pipe network going on beneath the city and stuff. But anyway, I'm highlighting some of the weaker elements, really. I mean, it's all about the swinging and the fighting, really.
And the main story.
Yes, of course, yeah. I've just finished Act 1. I think I put about 10 hours into it.
Okay.
And yeah, but I've just been doing that bit at my own pace when it makes sense. I've been playing it like I do a lot of open world games, where I'm sort of trying to sort of kind of vaguely head towards the main objective. I don't really look at the map. It winds me up like any other open world game does. So I'm just kind of reacting to what comes into my periphery and just kind of getting a little distracted with that. But yeah, the combat's awesome. It's a lot quicker than the Arkham games.
It's very, it is very similar though. It's extremely similar.
It is, yeah, but it feels a lot more I mean, it just suits that character. Batman's more of like a lumbering dude.
Yeah.
Kind of more about bringing people to him, whereas Spider-Man seems to go towards whatever he's shooting.
Well, don't forget that style of combat for that kind of game. I mean, basically, this is the Spider-Man game that everyone who's ever played an old Spider-Man game on the PS1 wanted it to be. Finally, the tech's caught up with what they wanted. So that whole sort of taking on multiple opponents all around you has always been around, but they've always had things like a block button because it's just been too clunky. You've got options for moves and stuff like that, but they've always just felt slightly, ham-fisted.
This for me, the combat is, it's just beautiful. I feel like Spider-Man. I feel like he is Spider-Man instead of a old fat bloke smashing buttons on a controller going, I'm not very young anymore. It really, it's fluid is the word, I think.
Yeah. I think they've given it to a developer who's got I adore the Ratchet and Clank games. They're colourful, they're fun, they're vibrant, and it sounds very much like they were the right pick, I think, to take this property on.
Definitely, yeah, and they've plumbed all their resources into it. They normally have multiple projects on the go, but they've all been working on bits of this. And there's so much detail in the game. There's lots of like MCU type stuff in there. Lots of little Easter eggs. I mean, if you're aware of the lore, you know the other characters that live in New York City, and you do get to sort of. There are cool little references all around.
Also, the Ghostbusters firehouse is there. And if you go around the back, there's a graffiti of a Slimer.
Oh, nice. Wicked.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's a really good game. I can't really find fault with it so far. I don't know whether it's... I think it's going to be difficult to choose between this and God of War, as far as Game of the Year stuff goes. They're both very, very strong.
Red Dead's coming.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, that will probably be a contender as well.
I'm hoping Fallout 76 is a contender as well, but we'll...
Can I offer just a brief thing on Spider-Man, if I may?
Of course.
I am an older gentleman, and my patience is goodness gracious thin at the best of times. So traditionally, I'll do a couple of cutscenes in a game, and then I'll just skip because I just want to get to the bits where I'm doing stuff and not watching stuff.
Yeah.
This is the first game for a long time where I have not skipped any cutscenes. And I think I've got about, 10 hours, 12 hours in it or something.
Yeah.
I'm gripped by the story. The acting's good, the script's good, his incidental quips as he's flying through the sky. They were initially grating, but I've quickly warmed to them.
Some of them are like really puntastic and
it's
don't quite
Spider-Man,
land,
isn't it?
But that's it. Yeah. It sounds like Spider-Man. I was a massive fan of Spider-Man when I was a kid, so in the 1870s. But it reminds me of the feeling I had when I read his stories and watched the frames on the cartoon pages of him doing stuff. I mean, there's a lot of cosmetic stuff. I think there may be 20 or 30 different Spidey suits you can unlock, and some of them I don't know anything about, but you can get some of them are extremely familiar, including the one he wore for the wrestling match in whichever one he was the wrestler. I think the first Spidey with Tobey Maguire, maybe. And they unlock extra things, so you can unlock it, and then you get that ability, but then you can wear a different suit and stuff. Yeah,
that's really cool that they let that become independent. So it's like you're unlocking the powers, and it comes with a suit that you can swap out as you want. It's really good.
So you can choose your aesthetic, but then still have the benefits of all of the.
You have to unlock it, and you get the suit power, I think it's called.
Yeah.
It's a big game world. It is New York, but it's not one-to-one. I think somebody in the thread about the Ghostbusters thing, somebody suggested they'd kind of missed every other street out. But it is enormous. And when you get to Midtown and the skyscrapers are either side, it's breathtaking. Jesus, it's breathtaking.
There was a bit. Sorry, just quickly. There was a bit where I landed on the street right near the financial district, and that there's a building with a statue that I clearly remember when I went there, and this was probably about 10 years ago that I went there, and I remember looking left, and that view is just bang on. Like, it really is. It's the closest I've seen since GTA 4. And even the fact that, like, I wasn't getting up in sort of Act 1 where I'm at, I've just gone up to the top, and when I went to New York, I didn't go anywhere near there. Right. So it's kind of felt like my trip to Manhattan, like 10 years ago, since I started.
So are you playing the game by sector? Because as soon as I unlocked all of the sectors, like in the first couple of hours, just by swinging around and doing stuff.
Well, it's just that I saw that there was some side missions up there,
right?
But the game just didn't really lead me there. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I play. Like, I do try to head towards the main objective, but I just get distracted on the way, and shit happens. I'll have to end up jumping on a car and pulling everyone out and stopping it.
The only other thing I would add, it's quite the game for that. The only other thing I would add is quick time events. Now, the Tomb Raiders and the Uncharted and all the rest of them have quick time events, and they're a little bit, oh god, I'm going to have to press a button at some point, aren't I? And it feels like you're segueing animations together, which is okay, but there aren't a lot of quick time events for this. Oh, there
are in some of the big set piece things. There are definitely,
and they're the ones that there's one with a helicopter, which I can't really spoil, but there's a helicopter thing, and you end up with a helicopter webbed between two buildings, and my jaw was on the floor for this. It was just so exciting.
The bit where he goes through the helicopter in slow motion, and he's like, "Hi," sort of. And then and so good.
The quick time events felt like I was doing stuff. It didn't feel like I was connecting stuff together. And I liked that one specifically because you ended up with a helicopter strung between two skyscrapers in New York. And those of you who are old enough, listener, you might be, may remember that in 2000, that for the first Spider-Man movie, the first Tobey Maguire one of the early trailers had Spidey catching some crooks and webbing up a helicopter between the Twin Towers. That was released in the summer of 2001 and was immediately pulled. It's still available on the internet, but it really got me. It may just have been the adrenaline from the excitement, but then to end up with this, with Spider-Man sitting on top of the helicopter, fuck, it was awesome. Jesus, it was awesome. I think, Marcus, we'll wait while you buy a PS4 in this game, my friend, really. It's...
No, I would say enjoy it, because it was made to be enjoyed, and I'm glad you guys are loving the shit out of it, because, you know, it doesn't have my usual, I love comics, I like Spider-Man bias kind of thing, which, you know, I might have, although I have called out Marvel films on all their bullshit sometimes. But I can't wait to get this. I can't wait to get this system. Come November, it shall be mine.
Good stuff.
Can't wait.
Ian, have you made much use of all the different gadgets? Because I've found myself not really.
I'm really using them at the moment. I don't really know where I am with the axe, and I don't want to spoil anything because I know there's some stuff that happens during the game that happens. I can't say anything more with that. I've unlocked all of the gadgets, and some of them are upgraded, and I'm really using them in combat when I can, especially because I think I don't know whether I'm doing stuff that's beyond my level in some cases because I've unlocked all the zones or something. But there's certainly some big, ugly brute type fellas that just challenge me, really, really challenge me. And having the little the spider things and the flying laser drone stuff, you can get sticky spider bombs that will stick people to the walls of the floor. Even your default web shooters, I think you get 6 shots with it, and somebody will be wrapped up in it, and then if you knock them over, you can do it again to web them to the floor, and then they're out. You don't have to knock them out or anything. That's great. So there's a lot of kind of tactics to be had. But yeah, I'm really using them at the moment.
That sounds like the Homecoming movie where he lobs the web grenade.
Yes,
and then it kind of takes the guys on the ferry.
I do have to say something about this because I'm a traditional Spider-Man person. I don't care about the homemade web shooters instead of the genetic web shooters. But I really had a problem with Homecoming because of he became a technological Spider-Man instead of this kind of goofy kid.
It was the Stark suit, wasn't it? It was the Iron Man.
He had all of the toys and the gadgets and stuff. And Homecoming was okay. It was certainly better than the two before, but it was still a bit, I just want the first Tobey Maguire movie. And I was kind of sceptical about this because it does have all the gadgets and all of that stuff's available. And I know he's a clever kid, and he's not the kid in this. He's older and got jobs. He's got a job. Jobs.
He's a scientist.
Oh, so he's older, Parker. He's not like... Oh,
yeah,
sweet.
He's
kind of 20s Parker, I guess.
Yeah, because I've been reading the comics for years.
I thought early Spider-Man Peter Parker was a journalist, or am I?
Yeah,
but he takes a job in a university and stuff and becomes a teacher. And then becomes homeless and everything else.
I just remember the early cartoons when I first met Spider-Man, if you see what I mean. He was a journalist, wasn't he?
He took photos for the Daily Bugle because he could leave the camera around and stuff. And
that was it.
He'd always get shots of Spider-Man because he knew where Spider-Man was going to be.
Whoa.
Yeah, in this, he's actually got like an internship with a very sweet scientist that it's very early in the game, but I won't spoil it.
No.
It's not like he doesn't have a surname beginning with C, does he?
No.
No, he doesn't. But you're barking up the right tree, Marcus.
Okay. I'm just curious where it goes because I'm like, ooh. And I don't want to spoil it. I've not watched Let's Plays or anything.
It will surprise and enrapture you, mate, because it feels like Spider-Man that's familiar but also new in that we haven't got here yet.
Yes,
sort of.
and also there's no origin shit. I mean, the origin story it's a beautiful story, but there is no origin stuff in there at all.
I loved the 90s cartoon, the one with the one that was on Fox Kids, which basically went through so many story arcs. Like the Spider multiverse and everything, the Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, the Lizard, his own mutation into the Man Spider. It covered so much, and I think it was on for like 4 years. And if you want some Spider lore, if you can find a decent copy of it online, I'd recommend watch that, and he'll pretty much sum up a lot of it. But it was so cool. I learned loads from that. It was just...
I'm just enjoying this though because it's kind of there are enough deep cuts that I know it as someone who's like probably a more casual fan of Spider-Man, but it's familiar, you know. In a similar way to the Arkham games, there was a lot of characters you knew, and there were you know you could learn more about. It just sort of drops you in it.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple of things that I just wanted to mention. Yeah, so I'm not really using the gadgets, but that's because I'm playing Spider-Man in the way that I want. You see, there's all these toys there that you can play with. So if you want to be like the geeky Spider-Man and use all the gadgets, then you can build your play style around that. If, however, you just want to be punching dudes and swinging about, then you can play it like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man if you want. So I'm enjoying that. The photo mode is brilliant.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It took me a little while to figure out how to do the selfies. It's basically like you just have to choose the camera type, but you can do it like you could be jumping off the Empire State Building, just go into photo mode, and then you just click selfie, and he's doing like the finger guns and stuff. Yeah, it's awesome, and it's context sensitive, so it will change depending on where he is and stuff. But so that's really fun. So I've been plastering my Twitter feed right now is just plastered with pictures of me jumping off the Avengers Tower and stuff like that. Which, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm going over there.
Yeah,
it's Starkin.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's great. It's like the tallest building, I think, in the game. So that's Spider-Man. Any other thoughts, Ian, apart from how good it is and stuff?
I'm enjoying the subtlety of it. I mean, I know I don't know. I don't think I'm halfway through yet, but there's characters coming in that I kind of know who they are, and the name rings a bell, and I go and Google them, and I'm looking at one of the characters here that's from the comics that the name rings a bell, but he's not. He's kind of gently eased into the story. It's not kind of like the Defenders or any of those 4 things where it's just, ha-ha, and now here's this guy. It's just, it feels organic, the introduction of these characters. I think the story is really very good, and believe Insomniac should handle the next movie. Because I think they've done a great job. So that's all I've got, mate.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I would love to see more of the Marvel characters playing in this game world. The other thing as well, something that really does make me feel like it's why it's taken until now for a good Spider-Man game is, as good as the Arkham games are, or were, or started off as, they always found a way to empty those cities. So they just felt like movie sets, empty movie sets.
Yeah.
In Spider-Man, it's like a fully operational New York City.
It is breathtaking, yeah. There's people on the sidewalks, cars everywhere, helicopters overhead, boats in the rivers. It's just Christ.
Well, that's the thing. After GTA, you can't really kind of go back, can you? People realise that people like a place to feel as though it's actually alive. So then when you're doing your thing, you're doing it within an actual living, breathing city.
Got bustle. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly right. But yeah, it's great. If you land in the street, people will try and get a selfie with you. You can actually talk to some of them and interact with people on the street. I mean, it's all background really, but there's other little moments where there was crime in progress in a shop, and you just land, and then all of a sudden the camera just locks to the front of the shop, and you're just in there bouncing things up and all over the fucking shop.
It is not without bugs, though. There's no show-stopping ones, but one of the kind of wandering monster missions is a car has turned over and you've got to go and rescue someone. And I had one last night or the night before, I think, where I got to the overturned car, and it must have spawned right in the middle of another car. So you have this car on the back and then another car just parked in it.
That's how they make their cars.
Oh, okay, thank you. We aim to inform, listener. And there was people, and sometimes NPCs will get stuck between a car and a fence and stuff, which is quite funny. And you can kind of kite them into that, so you can just pick them off from afar. But they don't happen all the time. I've only seen it twice, and they were more funny than, oh no, this game is broken, because I'm so engrossed with the rest of it. So,
yeah, I've had a few moments with water that have not been that elegant. I think I fell off a boat and I was like, oh, why can't I climb on it? Oh no, I just have to jump and get on it, sort of. Yeah. It just, and it kind of I went through the boat, sort of thing. It's on one of the videos I uploaded, but yeah, I mean, this is Nichols. This is Nichols, really.
And they're so far down the list of things to talk about with it that, we're done now, really. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So from what you're saying, reads a bit like a, solid 6 out of 10?
It's a 5 out of 7, definitely.
I would give it 4.5 out of
34.
5, probably.
I believe I would give it the same. And at the moment, it's my game of the year.
I wonder whether they were going to take that engine and do other things with it. Because, I don't know, maybe like an X-Men game, if they do finally get the Fox license back. Because I think it would be quite nice to actually have something with a story that runs, because Spider-Man is a pretty nice and safe bet, because you've had the movie come out, everyone's still hyped from the fact that Spidey's come back to the MCU. So it's like a natural win, natural high.
I think
Ghostbusters in the engine would be amazing.
Ghostbusters.
It would just be amazing. Christ.
Remember I was saying about Dream Games a while back, having a good quality Ghostbusters game go around New York, do jobs, bust ghosts. Yes. Give it to Insomniac.
New York. Yeah, it feels like the New York that the Ghostbusters will be doing their ghost busting in.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
The thing is, it's all to do with who's got the rights for things. I don't know who's got the game rights for X-Men. This is really a unique thing for Sony.
I think it used to be Fox, because they used to come up on there as well.
Yeah, but then I don't think Fox would make the game.
No, but they're the publishing rights to it.
Well, they could sell the license.
They don't really. Yeah, it would have to be someone selling the license. I think Activision have the license for the rest of the Avengers, and I think they're doing something with Crystal Dynamics that's Avengers related. But yeah, I feel like this is kind of in its own bubble, but I'm sure there will be more Spider-Man games after this, because it has sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
It is selling PlayStation.
Holy shit, this is interesting. Do you know who's got the video game rights for Ghostbusters?
No.
Japanese company, 4 letters, begins with an S, ends with a Y.
Well,
Sony.
That's how they can have the Ghostbusters fire station in there, and the slime and graffiti on the back of the
building.
wall.
The Ghostbusters fire station is a real building. It is there.
The reference.
But the graffiti, it's not the actual Slimer, but it is a Slimer.
Yeah. Yeah. But if Sony have got the rights, and Sony have already got basically half of New York built by a software house doing a good fun thing. Wouldn't it be nice, rather than follow up Spider-Man, to have a Ghostbusters building on top of it?
Wouldn't it be nice to have a nice little Easter egg if you went there at a certain time and you saw Ecto 1 come out when they went off on a call?
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be so sweet.
Oh, that would be good.
You'd hear the fire engine, you'd hear the exit and the sirens and the klaxons. Janine screaming, "We got one!"
And when the Ghostbusters game comes out, you go at the right time, you'll see Spider-Man zooming over.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the kind of Easter eggs I love.
There was a Wolverine game. That was Activision.
Yeah.
They probably still have some of the rights all tied up. But, I'm sure, honestly, after the Arkham games and now this, I really think the floodgates might open and hopefully, but the thing is, it's not easy to make these games. They've spent so much time and money making this, and it's about one character. So I feel like all the characters deserve that kind of treatment.
Yeah.
Even the Hulk,
Yeah, I don't think an X-Men game would work if you could play all 15 of them and choose your one and stuff and bits and things.
No,
I can't see why.
No, but I meant if it was done as a story.
Yeah.
If it was done as a story, like an outsider, like you were either brought into the mansion and things were going on and you were in there, so you weren't necessarily one of the X-Men. I think that would be a nice way to do it.
And if you could create your own mutant,
and you get caught up in it and you get called and stuff, and things happen.
Which
so you're.
This kind of leads me very nicely on, in a way, actually, to the game I've just finished. It's not the newest, but it is a game in which you appear new to the existing surrounding, although this one is a sequel, and you very much decide what kind of person you are, and you've got lots of familiar faces, and that is South Park, The Fractured But Whole. Because you are the new kid, and obviously you're with Cartman and Kyle and Stan and Butters and all of them. This time, rather than playing wizards and warriors, they are superheroes with various powers. Obviously, as the new kid, you have the power of incredible flatulence, which you could use to bend time. And I've been playing this on the Switch. It was out on the other consoles, I think, last year. Reviews were, if you've played the first one, don't worry too much about the second one. Personally, I thought it was brilliant. Really nice, in-depth, turn-based JRPG type combat, and a script fully involving the South Park guys, voiced by the South Park guys. I was playing it on the train, and just, you know that thing when you start laughing at something utterly disgusting in a game, but you're on a packed commuter train and you're trying to hold it in? That happened to me quite a lot.
I've given up trying to do that.
I mean, Cartman is just magnificent in it. I won't go too much into any of the characters just because there's so many cheap laughs when you first see them all. But you start off as the new kid. They've stopped playing their Warriors and Wizards game and it's onto the superheroes thing, and they're talking about the competing franchise. You've got Coon and Friends versus the Super Pals, Freedom Pals or something like that. And it's very much the DC versus Marvel, and they're planning out the cinematic universe. And obviously the new kid ends up being sent on all of these tasks, and it's just wonderful. If you've ever enjoyed any of the South Park stuff, if you've played Stick of Truth, I wouldn't play it straight off the back. I wouldn't go one into the other, but I played Stick of Truth when it came out, and I have just enjoyed Fractured But Whole hugely.
You really, if it's anything like the first one, because this one got delayed almost by a year, I think.
Yes, but it came out polished.
It still feels... Yeah, so it still feels like they've given this as much attention as they do their show. Yeah,
absolutely. The fact that, because this was Ubisoft published. I mean, the first one was the the guys that did all the RPGs. No, the first one didn't it have who's the guys that did like Fallout New Vegas?
Well, we need the internet to check this kind of factage.
Yeah. You're thinking of Bethesda?
No, not Bethesda. The ones that did New Vegas. They handed it Black.
Oh, Obsidian.
Yes, so Obsidian did the first one, which is why I knew it would be quality. But then Ubisoft took the license and sort of took over development on it. But they have been really faithful to the original engine, the original setup. It's just great fun. Really, you can pick it up. Yeah. I think you can pick it up on the main consoles, if you see what I mean, for 20 quid. It will last you quite a lot of hours. It's great fun. And on the Switch for commuting, it was wonderful.
Thing is, what I've been doing is, as I've heard all these games getting ported to Switch, I've kind of been removing them from my backlog.
Yes, turn them into your commuter
and it's
log.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, hopefully if I can get one next year, then I'm going to just have a mountain of stuff to get through. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Marcus, you've been playing something on the Wii U, haven't you?
Yeah, I gave the Zelda Dynasty Warriors cross Hyrule Warriors a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it is then?
It's what they call a Muso game, where it's basically you run around a set area, trashing hundreds of spawn allies, completing objectives to basically win the tide of war. So it pretty much follows that, but it's in the Zelda sort of lore. So you've got characters pop up and stuff, and you have to go and take strongholds and everything else. And it is multiplayer, but it's done in a kind of Wii U when they didn't quite understand that people wanted a split-screen multiplayer, because our TV's big enough. When we're playing Mario Kart and it's split down the middle, there's more than enough room on our TV, but they chose fit to do the second player playing via the Wii tablet, which isn't bad. Yeah. Which isn't too bad. I mean, I stick headphones in one ear and I turn the volume up on that, and I quickly get used to it. But while Susie's
you're two-player on the couch next to each other, and you've got to wear headphones.
Exactly.
And you can't
and she's
that's ridiculous.
It's crazy, but it is bonkers. But you quickly get absorbed into it, and it's I've got to say, there's quite a lot of content, because we've been just putting it on randomly and just doing like a couple of missions here and there. And there's all sorts of stuff in there, like, you know, you've got all your crafting options and bits and pieces, and adding, you know, skill sets to your characters and unlocking more characters. And a lot of it are areas from all the different Zelda games, so like Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess and all that sort of thing. So it's got enough Zelda Easter eggs in there. But we picked it up for dirt cheap. I wouldn't have paid full price for it, because I think it's a bit of a mission grind sort of thing. But for dirt cheap, it's a lot of fun, and I've been kind of enjoying it. But yeah, it's got me back into kind of steadily gaming again, sort of like playing more and more, which is why I've been chomping at the bit now for a PS4.
Well, apparently
just so I can join you.
Apparently
just so I can join you.
Sorry, go on.
Special fluky people, you lucky muckers on the battlefield of choice.
The Switch version supports two-player multi-screen, split screen.
Well, that's because it's a better version.
Because they figured it out after the ridiculousness.
Yeah, it doesn't have a stupid tablet, and they go, we've got to use a tablet. We put development money into it.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Got to say, it's crazy. Every time I keep mentioning the fact that I'm playing Mario Kart 8, and I don't think I've ever played a game that's got as much mileage. Because it is like you say, Will, with games and Ian, where you just pick it up and put it down. It's just got instant playability.
Yeah. I've got my kids, my 4 and my 6-year-old, playing Mario Kart 8 on the Switch now. They love it.
It's crazy how, and you just, and the fact that you've got 2-player going online, and there's no lag, there's nothing. I mean, there's a tiny sync up at the start, and then you're just playing it, and you're playing people in Chile, Argentina, wherever, all over the world, and there's no lag.
Oh, and you don't have to pay for the pleasure on the Wii U, presumably. On the Switch, you've now got to pay for online gaming.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's just introduced. It's about 20 quid for a year, and you get to play some 30-year-old NES games.
Oh, okay. Right.
Oh, the virtual console sort of thing.
It's not that impressive an offering.
No.
Don't you have to, use an app to do voice comms as well?
I don't know. I'm not even bothered. I
don't bother with that.
If I'm playing online, I use my PC or PS4. Well, PC generally.
We just pick a target, go after them, red shell them to hell, laugh as we go past, and then on to the next match. Today we're going after one from Peru.
I'm going to get myself.
I think I'm going to get. Go on. I was going to say, I think I'm going to get a headset for the PS4 for Red Dead.
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably going to have quite a lot of good multiplayer stuff on it.
I think I'm just going to use Remote Play on my PC and Discord.
Oh, okay.
Which, I'm going to need to find other people like that, or figure out how to get my headset working with it remotely, if I can do that. I can plug it into the controller.
Well, if you were doing that, I could still play on the PS4, but have the comms coming through from the PC.
Yeah.
I'm
just because it's more comfortable to play at my PC screen, to be honest.
We still don't really know what the actual multiplayer offerings going to be, but
they announced today, or last week, or 2 weeks ago, whenever this comes out, that it's due in November, the online stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it'll be, I think they said it'll be a beta version in November, and they thank us for our patience as it goes through the tumultuous initial few weeks and stuff. Which is good, We doesn't need to be another GTA Online.
Well, that came out in the same way, though. It was so it sounds like it's going to be its own thing.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah, absolutely. So
which is encouraging, because GTA Online was pretty damn good.
It was. It's got a bit insane now, but at the start, my God, it was good. I'm hopeful we don't see stunt horse races through tracks in the sky in Red Dead.
You will get Pegasus in about 3 years' time.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And there's at least some kind of co-op deal. That would be nice. Even if it's just, kind of like the heist from
be
GTA
like
5.
an original Ghost Rider skin, the cowboy one.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. Ghost Rider.
That's quite out soon. That's out quite out. Or drink. That's out quite soon, isn't it? Red Dead. When is it? End of the month, or end of October, or middle of October?
End of October.
What we need is internet. End of October.
Yeah, it's the 28th, I think.
So a week before Fallout
26.
76.
It's the 26th.
26.
So
I
2
booked
weeks
the long
before
weekend.
Fallout 76,
Nice.
because that won't affect sales of Fallout.
Oh, take the 29th.
What are you getting Fallout on, Will?
I'll be going PS4.
Yeah. See, that's why I've decided I need to get one, because I miss
where all the
playing
cool kids are
multiplayer, and you guys have all got one. I'm like, I feel like the kid that's just looking in the window whilst you're all eating goose.
And that's the problem, Marcus. That's how they get you. Your friends sitting around going, I've got one of these, I've got one of these, and everybody else goes, I want one,
To be fair,
one.
I am turning up near the end of its life cycle, so I'm kind of like...
It's got a year. It's got a couple of years, I think.
Yeah, no,
it's been almost 6 years, I think.
There will be some cracking deals on Black Friday.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I linked to on our Game Dump group. I linked to what the best PS4 exclusives right now, and there's just so many.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy sell at this point.
And I've got so many to catch up on as well. That's what's really cool.
Also, they're
They've been out
giving
for a while.
reasonably good games away on the PS Plus monthly stuff.
Yeah.
Heavy Rain's been on there. There's a God of War on there, not the most recent one.
Density
You
2.
can usually kind of every couple of months you'll get maybe a couple of games
Yeah.
and you think, holy shit, I'll add that to the list.
And some of these games now have been out a while and are pretty cheap. Like Horizon Zero Dawn is 18 quid.
You can get it cheaper than that.
Yeah,
20
second-hand retailers is just like... Well,
Uncharted 4, 9 quid.
Jesus.
Last Guardian, 12 quid.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So right now, you can really steam through a whole load of awesome games.
No point,
Until Dawn is 8 quid.
That's the thing, you could go out, if you bought one tomorrow, you could drop 50 quid on Spider-Man, or you could buy 6 of the best games this generation for probably that sort of money. It's a no-brainer.
yeah, but I want Spider-Man.
There is
I could
that.
do both. I could do
Now,
both.
what you do is you borrow
The
Spider-Man
hype
off
train
of Rob.
cometh.
I've already offered.
There's the
Because
answer.
it's not going to last me that
Oh,
much
did you get the
longer, I don't
disc?
think.
I got digital. I can't be asked with damn discs.
I'm getting
and
the disc.
Consoles, Jesus.
I'm still quite an old man.
The digital's like another 10 quid though, isn't it?
I like the
Oh,
idea
is
of
it?
disc
Well,
compact.
that's alright. I'm paying for the luxury of not having to find which fucking case I put the Spider-Man disc in.
Well, put it in the right one. What's wrong with you, man?
In the right one?
do-
Weirdo.
If you get
Jeez.
Spider-Man from the Spider-Man case, you put it back in the Spider-Man case.
You get Spider-Man from the Spider-Man case, realise you've got Horizon Zero Dawn in your PlayStation, can't find the Horizon Zero Dawn case, and put it in the Spider-Man case, and then the cycle of madness begins.
And then you open up the Spider-Man case, and then you've got, I don't know.
You see,
pig.
I
wonder
got
how the
it
hell
right.
that got in there.
Marry me, Marcus, marry me.
No.
dear.
Well, oddly enough, what happened to me is I just take the game out, leave it on the side. The wife goes to clean up the
God.
loft room and puts the disc back in the right box for me.
Oh, you people.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
You people.
That's
Keep
Oh, you people.
No, I got God of War on disc and I got Spider-Man on disc just because you've got the option of trading them in a bit.
Yep.
Oh,
Totally.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the only time I'll do the digital is when there's a sale on.
Yeah.
And even then you still end up spending 30, £5 on something.
Yeah, if you can get a good deal.
Been...
I managed to get my South Park, which was just completed. I paid £30 for that. I got 25 quid trade-in value. Result.
Oh, that's all right.
No, quick question. How big is the install for Spider-Man? Because you obviously have to part install a lot of these games and stuff.
1/5 of a PlayStation.
Probably more for you, Rob, because you've got the disc.
Don't know. I've got 1 terabyte drive, so
hold on. I will just tell you now.
You have an internet?
It's like 5 gig. Well, there was like a 5 gig
47.5 gig.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't really matter though, because you've got
that
that
that's
terabyte.
With disc or not.
So 1/10 of a standard PlayStation.
I've had my PlayStation 4 for like 2 years now, and I've only filled it up about a third.
Yeah. Okay.
And I haven't really deleted anything.
Yeah. I was tempted about the whole increase in storage space, should we say? Get like a 2 terabyte drive.
You don't need it. All I do is I complete a game when I start playing it, or I decide I don't like it. Either way, I delete it when I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Sorted. You always re-download.
Oh, fair enough.
Madness as well. You should have 200 games installed like it's Steam. And then never play any of them apart from the newest one. Surely.
If I want to live like a techno idiot, it should be my choice.
No, it's impressive. That kind of housekeeping is impressive. I am genuinely impressed.
Well, it's only because that's probably why I stopped playing games. I got bloody tired of looking for the cases.
Although, Marcus, there's another game that I've been playing recently. Not a PlayStation exclusive, but a game that didn't really sell as well as it should have done last year, but can now be picked up for tuppence halfpenny, and that is Wolfenstein 2, which I was very much, deeply impressed by. So I had
was that the New Order or something? Or
beg pardon?
Was that the New Order or was that the previous one?
No, New Order, I think was the first one, and Wolfenstein 2, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
this is the Colossus one or something. Is it Colossus?
Yes. Yeah, the new Colossus.
Something
Colossus.
Yeah. So it's set in late 60s, early 70s. Can't remember exactly. The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. It's got a real American funk soundtrack, and it is the best soundtrack on anything. It's the cutscenes, from what you were saying earlier, Ian, on Spider-Man, the bit where you watch every second of the cutscenes. Now, a Wolfenstein game, you are William J. Blazkowicz, you are out killing Nazis and Nazi robots, right? Yeah. And the levels, they're fantastically fun, particularly the dual wielding, just because you can pick different guns for different hands, you can modify all the guns, and you go through the levels, sometimes stealthily, sometimes gun blazing, killing stuff. The soundtrack's incredible. This funk music kicks in so well as it ramps up the level of evil mecha Nazis coming at you. And then you return to base, and the cutscenes, the characters it introduces to you, totally unnecessarily, but it gives you this wonderfully ridiculous sci-fi story. But
it's like the characterization and the writing has no business in this game. Like it doesn't need it. It just it's a
little treat at the end of each level, basically, because you go back in and it's this wonderful levity.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it kind of brings a level of credibility. It like raises the whole thing up a bit.
Really does. Yeah.
I've only played the first bit, and I haven't. I tell you what though, because I just bought this so that I could test out my Steam Link, and I didn't. I installed it so that I could test out my Steam Link. I still want to play the game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first one and its spin-off immensely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've only played the first mission where you're like
still in the wheelchair.
Yeah, which is just ridiculous.
Oh, but it's so fun just wheeling around in a wheelchair with a gun and having to slow down to turn corners, put the gun away, and then pull it out to blow Nazis away. It's so brilliant.
And the guns are so good, and they really do feel like guns, like fire exploding in front of you.
The gunplay's incredible.
Yeah.
But what I would also like to say, the characterization, the plot, like I say, you don't expect a plot in a game like that, but it really is there. The characters are brilliant, all immediately fantastic. The main evil bad woman, Herr Engel, is just ultimate evil, fantastically so. All of the people on BJ's crew on the massive stolen Nazi nuclear submarine that is your base are just all interesting, great fun. You want to know more about them all. There's twists to the plot. People get killed. You lose people. It's all tear-jerking and moving. And I'm close to the end now, and I don't want it to stop. So, nothing but good things to say about that. Any of you guys get a chance, Rob, get back into it. You'll love it, mate. Finish Spider-Man. Get back to BJ.
Yeah, I will do. I do plan on getting back to BJ for sure.
Finish slinging your webs.
If I've got any time between slinging my webs and I don't know. I was trying to think of a cowboy base.
Spaffing your webs and riding your horse.
Yeah, if I get time, I will. There's a couple of things I'm sort of in the middle of as well, but they're not that important.
Slinging your webs and popping on a pair of chaps.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's the one. That's the title for this episode, right? Popping on a pair of chaps.
I watched High Noon yesterday. I should have all this down. But yeah, anyway, any other games we've been playing, or shall we?
No.
Just
I'm looking forward still to Soul Calibur 6 when that comes out. I've been following all the characters that have been released for that. It looks like it's all the original lineup from the original Soul Calibur, but also some of the ones from other games because it's a soft reboot. So it's some of the characters from Soul Calibur 2, 3, and I think 4 as well.
They're looking at it.
So they've kind of, I reckon. Yeah, no, I don't really know what the story is, but it looks like this.
Sorry, it's a fighting game,
but to
Marcus.
justify, if it's a reboot, then why the hell would there be characters that are in the other games that are set like 20, 30 years after this game would have been? That sort of thing. I say story with inverted commas, but there wouldn't be inverted commas because it's a podcast.
You see, the fighting game I played on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, was Soul Blade, which I think was effectively the sequel to Soul Calibur, but wasn't Soul Calibur 2, which came out on the PS2.
No, it was the prequel.
Confusing. Oh, was it the prequel?
It was the prequel, yeah. It was originally called Soul Edge in the arcades. I know, because I spent so much money on that.
Understood. But you see, Soul Blade was incredible. Best fighting game. Yeah. I'd played Street Fighter 2 and that
opening sequence song ever, but I love it. I actually had that on my phone.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 6, it's a sort of game, to be honest. If it came on PS Plus, I'd love it. I'd have a crack at it. But I don't really have anyone to play fighting games with, and to me, playing someone online is no different to just playing the AI. I get bored of it. I quite like story mode type stuff, but yes.
Yeah. Well, they've got things like create a soul, so create a character, and your character actually has a story path in there as well. Ooh. Well, I say loosely story because it's a beat 'em up. So that's quite interesting. Like the fact that you can create a custom character and they can go through and do that rather than picking one of the mainstays. But I get a chance to basically relive gaming for me about 8-10 years ago. Because I met up with my youngest brother just yesterday, and he's looking forward to this. So we're going to be playing against each other online, like the old days.
Chat and it'll be like you're sitting on the sofa together. Yeah. No, you see that
slagging each other off on the phone.
Yeah,
sibling combat.
That'll do.
I'm looking forward to it.
I haven't really played a beat 'em up like at home for ages. I think my main barrier to entry is that I need to get another controller. And I've still only got the one on in either case. So I need to sort that out, really. I guess I could do it on the PC with both of them. But then I need some kind of Bluetooth adapter or something.
The last time I went round to his, I went round to my mum's because he still lives at home. He kicked my ass, like, thoroughly. He's become one of those scary kids. I knew I was in for
and then you played Soul Calibur.
Yeah, but I knew I was in for a beating when he put the control pad down and plugged in an arcade stick, and I kind of went, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to rekindling my gaming youth.
Cool. Sounds fun.
It does.
Let's I think that's all the time we've got for gaming this week, or this month rather. Thanks for listening to the Not Playing Podcast, part of the Not Listening Podcast Network, where you can also find the Not Watching Podcast, where we talk about movies and TV, and the Not Listening Podcast, where you can hear Adam and Co. talk about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at NotPlayingPod. You can find the show notes for all our shows at notlistening.co.uk, and if you like what you've heard here, please do leave us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, bye!